Right, let's talk a little bit about a movie that got shortlisted for Best International Feature at the Oscars, although it did not make the final 5. And I believe, Arturo, if he had his way...
I wanted it!
Let's talk about Joyland, about a married man from Pakistan who secretly joins an erotic dance theater where he becomes the assistant to a transgender starlet. A really compelling film that had about 50 different film production logos in front of it. It's one of those international movies that's a super co-production.
Yeah.
Does not reflect the quality of the movie in any way because it is a really standout film. Art, what did you respond to in Joyland?
All of it. This is a movie where I think it has one of the best ensembles of this Sundance, where everyone's firing on all cylinders. It's this family that's just trying to hang on. And as the patriarch tries to like invoke some things into his son and what he's supposed to do, you don't realize that he's kind of caught in that same cycle. And it's really a story of a lot of people caught in these different cycles that if they would have been allowed to do what they were already doing instead of changing things on them, it would have worked a lot better. But this is one where we left the theater and everybody had a different favorite performer. Mm-hmm. Everyone had a different person who they thought was the main character. And to me, out of the ones that were there, my standout was easily one of the characters who played the wife, Rasti Farouk. She killed it in this movie.
Yeah.
The whole cast is really good, but like, she was fantastic.
It is one of those movies that even though you kind of enter it through the eyes, I believe, of that married man,
Mm-hmm.
you end up having these moments with all these different characters and seeing a little bit of depth to so many different people, and that they're not just these kind of like surface level ideas, that there's a vulnerability and like maybe a bit of hypocrisy to a lot of them. It is a fascinating movie, partially because of its cultural context, but partially because it's just a really well-observed character study.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda, we saw this one up at the Egyptian,
We did.
one of the iconic Sundance theaters.
Yes.
What did you think about it?
I loved it. This is one I've unintentionally missed twice at 2 different festivals, so I had to catch it here.
Yeah.
So glad it was at the Egyptian. I almost feel like it's very interesting in that by the end, you almost feel like that central character feels the least developed in some ways, and you do feel like the ones around him are the ones that you get more of the spotlight on. But I think it's really interesting that you could take any of those characters and completely focus the movie in on them, and it would be just as powerful.
Agreed.
Like, you could have a whole movie about Biba. Like, it'd be great, you know?
No, Biba was dope.
Yeah, Biba was dope. So I think it's really good. It's very special, and I'm glad that it's been kind of doing the circuit here. And I assume it'll be released soon because it has been out now since May in terms of the festival stuff. So
should get a big push. I did not see this producer on it, but Riz Ahmed got added to the credits. I saw him at the end. And Zach, I don't know if you know this, but Roger Ebert knew this one guy. His name's Ramin Barani, and he's also executive producer on this. So you know it's got to be a good one. But hopefully it gets a good release. I know it didn't get shortlisted, but nonetheless, it's an honor just to be... Well, it got shortlisted, but it's an honor just to be shortlisted, even if it's not a nomination.
I mean, look, even if that means it's among the Academy's 15 favorite international films, there's still a high distinction in its own right.
One of the favorites off of the Spotlight category.
Yeah, and maybe it'll do better in our Intercut Awards.
Right?
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll have something to say about that.